Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Innovators Radio. I am your host, Ralph Brogdon, and I am delighted to have Mr. Barak Granot here with us today. He is a business consultant and has been since 1999, helping medium and small businesses to improve their organization and their profits. And at a certain point, he started seeing that a lot of businesses struggle with their marketing, and that is a bottleneck that's holding them down. So Barak narrowed his focus on the marketing aspect with a lot of stress on the digital marketing. In the last few years, Barak is managing his dental marketing agency called DentoMetrix, and his success got him some exposure on several big media publications. He has been speaking in front of dental associations and international dental conventions, and now he is launching his book titled Attract Better Patients: How to Position Yourself as the Go-To Dentist for Higher Value Cases. Barak, welcome to the program today. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you very much, Ralph. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in dental marketing specifically.
Well, like you said, I was a business consultant for a few years, and I handled different aspects of my clients' businesses. I'm talking about a few millions a year from each client. Now, most of my clients were concerned with their marketing. And, when you look at small and medium companies, they cannot afford a good on-the-ball marketing department from within the business. So the fact that marketing is changing so much, and you have to specialize in that and take it as a full-time endeavor. So in 2009, I actually started focusing on the marketing aspects to accommodate the need. And like you mentioned, the digital aspect of marketing is something that evolved and became very dominant in any business's marketing. So that was my main focus. Later, after I was invited to speak in front of dental associations, I started getting a lot of dentists as clients, and they signed up, and I became, throughout the years, very knowledgeable in that specific field of the dental marketing.
That's excellent, because a lot of marketing consultants are kind of all-purpose general marketing consultants, but you've really drilled down to really own this particular sector of dental marketing. Tell us a little bit about the type of dental practice that you typically work with.
Well, the most success I see is when the dentist is at a certain stage that he needs to get to the next level. That's where I make the biggest difference. Because if somebody is really starting out, then there are a lot of ills, a lot of problems that are basically unseen from the virtual marketing department can't really see the problems. So if I was a consultant that come to the practice and I could see and fix things on the spot, that would have been a lot better. But what I mostly see the best result is with practices that already have something going, that they do have team, they do have their staff knowing how to sign patients. And then when I bring them more patients, then that gets the biggest results. So I would say that if a practice has less than 1,000 active patients, that would probably be better for me to focus on something else. Not that I cannot help, it's just I cannot help everybody. So I decided purposely to limit the number of clients I have, and I only take about 20-25 clients, and that's it. So that's basically what I want to focus on.
Now, how do your clients or how do you work with clients? Do they sign up with you for a particular time period? Is there a certain number of months that you need to work with them to be able to see results, or how does that work?
Well, it's a good question because in the beginning, when I was few years ago, when I was starting out, I didn't limit, I didn't have any commitment or any number of months that you have to try. But the nature of marketing is that it's not instant. And sometimes I got clients that didn't really understand that point and expected result within the first week. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I had, a dentist calling me after a week after we signed. It's like, hey, why is my ranking not change? Or, it takes time for marketing to actually work. So, usually it's about 6 months until we actually see. It can be shorter than that, but, I cannot promise that. So, so usually it's a 6 month minimum, to see results. It depends.
Sure. So, you've worked with a lot of dental practices. You've worked with a lot of dentists. You've been around for a long time. You've got a lot of experience. What would you say is the most common problem that you see over and over again with the dentist and the dental practices that you work with?
That's a good question. First of all, I'm afraid there is no short answer to this one. Like that are 210,000 active dentists in the U.S. alone. So it's hard actually to fit them into one group, if that makes sense. I'd say there are two problems I can point out. Some dentists have one problem, some have the other, some don't have either one of them, and some have both. So it's a very diversified group. But I pinpointed two problems. One of them is internal and one of them is external. The first obstacle, the internal one, is either problems in the practice, within the practice itself, or in the mindset of the dentist who is the owner. And I'm saying mindset, that includes looking at marketing as an expense and not as a vital part of running a business and making sure it is solvent. Not being coachable, meaning willing to get expert advice and act upon it, or procrastinating on doing what needs to be done. Now, with regards to the practice, when I say problems within the practice, the dentist as a CEO cannot and should not be doing everything. He needs a team. And some practices suffer from other problems aside from the marketing. And getting them leads will not cure that. They will close the leads in a lot lower percentage. So, the problem can be staffing, can be training, cash flow, or a slew of other things. Like, for example, if somebody has a very bad office manager that scares people away, and it happened, I've seen that, and basically he's losing more patients than he can sign people up. There is very little I can do as a marketer to change that. Without really changing the business. So I can basically throw a lot of new patients there, but the practice will suffer still. Or if the practice is located in a very bad area or looks bad or, doesn't have any parking and so on, that's an uphill battle for a marketer. So there are a lot of flaws that for us as virtual marketing department, we cannot see that or fix it. Okay. So now, unfortunately, these types of problems are more common than I originally thought. I'm talking about both practice problems and mindset problems. Now, that's partly because of the nature of the majority of dentists, what attracts people to that profession, and partly by the lack of the business training that dentists get throughout their becoming dentists. And unfortunately, there are a lot of dentists that struggle to pay bills. In a lot of cases, it's because of the shortcomings in the way they manage their practice and themselves, I had to say. Okay, so that's one problem, the internal problem. The second one is external. And here is where you have growing competition from other dental practices, and in particular, the corporate dental chains. Now, that competition is expected to grow, and dentists, even the good ones, they don't know how to be prepared for that. So, as a result of the increased competition, we see commoditization of the profession. And we've seen it in other industries as well, even in the health niche, like chiropractors and opticians and so on. So in turn, what dentists and some marketers think they need to do is compete on price. And what happens is they are losing ground and in fact in danger, actually. So those are the two main problems, the internal problems and the external one, which is basically increased competition and as a result of that, commoditization.
Interesting. So how would a practice benefit? Just to go back to what you said earlier, you mentioned that the dentist, as the CEO of his own practice, should not be doing everything by himself. He should have a team. And yet many of them, maybe they have people in the office who are assisting with the function of the office, but not necessarily someone who is devoted to marketing. How would a practice really benefit working with a professional like you, and how would that really improve their chances for success against this internal and external problems that you've identified?
Okay, so well, like you said, there are two aspects, two problems I kept up. I try to answer both of them. So first of all, for the first problem, the internal one, I think that dentists that see that they lack in business skills, they need to get educated. They need to read books about management and about marketing in specific, not just continuing education, because they have other hats. They have to wear the hat of a CEO, not the technician, and be willing to learn. In some aspects, actually take the passenger's seat. Okay, if that makes sense. There is, like I said, I'm at a certain stage that I can pick and choose who I want to work with. And if somebody is not ready to learn and actually wants to do marketing just because he's been told that he needs to do that, or he reached to a certain point that he cannot survive and he basically by himself, this is in fact not somebody I would at this point take on as a client. I have very few, I don't want to work with hundreds of clients, like a lot of dental marketing agencies are trying to get as many as they can and work with hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dentists. I don't want that. I want to know my audience. I want to know their problems. And for me to be involved in their practice and actually help them out, I have to limit the number of dentists that I sign up. So I mainly focus currently on the ones that have the problem. They do have a practice. It's running. They have 1,500 active patients or something like that, but they want to take it to the next level. With that regards, what we can do to help them, for that you need to, or how they can improve. You have to understand what we do, and let me tell you briefly what we do for our clients. See, the main concept is that before you market yourself, you need to establish your positioning. Now, when you market before you do PR, public relations, you're actually another voice in the crowd, and people shut off. People don't want to listen to another marketing from somebody they don't conceive as somebody that will help them. But when you are the go-to dentist in town, you get the attention when you market, and people actually are open to it.
So when you say positioning, what does that mean for a dentist? Well,
for a dentist, that means that there are a lot of dentists, and it depends which area you're at. I'm in Los Angeles, for example. You have dentists in every corner. You have, I think, over 33,000 dentists in California. So people have a lot of options, and marketing has changed so that it's, in the past it was not allowed for dentists to market themselves. Now they do. So people have a lot of options. They see a lot of specials and so on. So why should they choose you? How can you stand out from the crowd? It's an environment what we call a Me Too environment, that everybody that says, hey, I'm a dentist. So, we're looking back at the commoditization, and when we're saying that, when something is commoditized, it's like you have a bowl of rice. It's the same brand. You're just looking for the best price. We know that dentistry, good dentistry, is not like that. But people conceive it like that, and you have to stand out from the crowd and be looked as the best solution, and you'll attract the better patients by doing that.
And that's the title of your book, actually,
Exactly.
Attract Better Patients,
Exactly.
How to Position Yourself as the Go-To Dentist for Higher Value Cases. So you talk about this in your book.
Correct. And just to complete the sentence, so when you are positioned as the go-to dentist, you actually attract. You see, from what I see, and I cover that in the book, I see in regards to patients, I see two groups that each one of them is about 50% of the market. One of them is looking for the cheapest deal, the best price. And those people will spend less. They will not invest in their teeth more than they have to. But they're also not loyal. They will just jump on the next deal next time they have a need. And the other group is the ones that appreciate quality. They don't shop by price, but by trust. They're looking for somebody good to assign for their health. And this is the type of patients that most dentists are looking for. I mean, you can be profitable in either one focusing on either one of the groups. I've seen dentists that are profitable and successful, focusing on each one. But marketing to one group deters the other. So what we are interested in is making sure that you are positioned as the go-to dentist. You have the best positioning in town, in your area, so that you will basically get, when we market, it will be a lot more effectively. Okay? After building the authority, you basically get a lot more return on your investment, on your marketing investment. Now, with regards to the marketing campaigns, we're doing some unique things. I'm not sure we have the time to cover that, but if I'll give one advice, is just work on your positioning and your authority. The actual starting point is actually your reputation. Online reviews on Google and Yelp. That's kind of like where things start, because you need to get to a certain level in order to be conceived as an authority.
And you've developed a system that you call predictable patients technology. Tell us how that works, how that applies to dentists, and why they would be interested in learning more about that.
Well, the system basically you see, what we have seen is that a lot of marketers skip some steps, and they start with marketing, either search engine optimization, social media, ads, whatever it is, they start marketing. And then when you market without good positioning, you get less traction. We have less people that actually are acting upon it, and when they do, they don't necessarily sign up. So the first step in our strategy is build the authority. Okay, build the authority of the dentist. Make sure that people would want to go to him. Say, I want I wish I could afford coming there. I wish I could afford a Mercedes, a Ferrari. But imagine that it's even the same price. So then you stand up as the best option. And why wouldn't you go there? You see what I mean? That's kind of like the first step is just building the authority. Then we have some very innovative marketing campaigns and marketing ideas that we do. And the third part of it is smart automation that reacts according to the patient's behavior. Like if you send them a certain video indoctrinating them about dental implants, you have to know before you continue marketing if they actually watched the video or not. And if they didn't, there is no point in trying to sell them to come to a consultation. You have to sell them on finishing the video. Okay, and then they will position better. So we have ways to build our campaigns according to what we see people do with our marketing. Do they open a lot of emails about gum problems or about cosmetics? And then we sell them what they actually are interested in.
Very interesting. Well, it looks like you really dialed into the hearts and minds of dental patients. And so I think your book is going to be really attractive to dental practices who want to learn your system. And so tell us about that, more about that book that you're working on right now. When is it going to be out?
Well, the book is currently in the final stages of being edited. It's fully written, and some people have read it already. And I cover there. I cannot cover everything I do because and the thought was originally to cover what I do. See, for example, I just visited a client of mine, a dentist in a small town, and we're getting him 100 new patients in average per month. 100 new patients in a very small town. That adds another $73,000 per month on average. And soon we'll get over $1 million a year increase for him. That's a single practice, by the way, one of his practices. Wow. So I have the process. See, I'm not saying that to impress you, but just to impress upon you that there are opportunities to be met. People are still have teeth and they need treatment. Some don't have teeth and they need implants, actually. But the point is that if you are a dentist and you're suffering or your practice is stagnant, realize that patients are going somewhere. It may as well, be designed so that they will go to you. Okay, so I'm actually, when I was about to write my book, I was thinking that I will cover my whole process. But then I didn't want to dilute it and make it very superficial. I wanted dentists to actually get something out of it, something they can do. So I isolated the first step, which is basically building an authority. And obviously, I cannot cover everything also in one book. So I started with the first steps, that dental practices can actually start doing that. And they can do that by themselves, or they can hire us to do that if they want to ensure results. So yes, I'm actually very excited about the book. I want to get the message out. I'm passionate about helping dentists. I made it my mission, one dentist at a time.
That's wonderful. So how can our listeners reach out to you and connect with you and find out more about your book?
Okay, so the book will announce when it goes out. The title will be Attract Better Patients. I'll probably have it available under attractbetterpatients.com, which is currently not up yet. But my company is DentoMetrix. It is spelled DentoMetrix. So DentoMetrix.com. And people can look me up on LinkedIn. Just Google my name. Search my name on LinkedIn, Barak Granot. There are not many people with that name, so I'm sure that you will find me. And I'll be looking forward to speak with your listeners.
Excellent. So, any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you'd care to share with our listeners as we wrap things up today?
Well, tell you that. When I have problems with my teeth, I go to a dentist because he's trained to help me. When you as a dentist, I'm speaking to your audience now, when you as a dentist who need help with marketing or taking your practice to the next level, you should go to someone like me. Okay, so now interview the person well, and don't be blinded by the bells and whistles, because there are numerous companies that have facets that you don't really need. You don't care how many other clients they have, or how many staff they have in their agency. You want to be sure that those people can help you take you to the next level. Okay, so make sure that you increase your value in the eyes of prospective patients. And remember, prospective patients, they don't care about your CE courses, the continuing education, or your credentials. It's all about your positioning. When you do that, you'll attract better patients, and as if you have like a special magnet that basically attracts the better ones.
Excellent. Barak Granot, he's the owner of DentoMetrix and the author of Attract Better Patients, How to Position Yourself as the Go-To Dentist for Higher Value Cases. Thank you so much for being on Business Innovators Radio today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.